Yeah, so greetings everyone. I'm out and about as always, right? And I'm just waiting on someone who I'm doing some counseling for today, a family, in fact. And just saw something very interesting. Well, part of the family. Some of the children are away right now, but I saw something that kind of really just fueled another thought that I think is important for everyone to consider and to think about. And, this message goes for those, it goes for everyone, but especially for those of you who have been spending a lot of time learning about and investing in awareness that transcends what maybe social structure has offered to you, going beyond what you've been given to conceptualize as God or conceptualize as education and family and ancestors and things like that, and just your entire perception of culture, which of course provides the container for your religion and your education and your entertainment and your sexuality and your sports and your ambitions and so forth and so on. And I saw a family. There's a family. Well, they're right there, and they're here, and they're all reading. They all have hardcover books that they're reading. And there's some other families here. Some are over here tossing a Nerf football, and others are just sitting out. There's one over here that look like they're eating and drinking. But specifically, I cued in on the family that is reading together. Mother, father, and I'm going to assume son. They're all reading books. And why I say I position this for those who have maybe reached beyond the standardized ways of conceptualizing the world is because sometimes when we find ourselves in our biggest throes and our biggest battles with our family and not knowing what to do, not knowing how to respond, we find that the majority of the time when we even have to have any level of interaction is when we're called to maybe reinvigorate or rememorialize and recommit ourselves to our devotion to our foreign deities. And as I've mentioned to you before, strange gods and foreign deities are culture. So Western culture, for those who are looking to walk in and exemplify an Eastern mindset, a foreign god or a foreign deity would be Western culture, because it truly is deified. That's why you can have people who say, I go to church, I go to the mosque, or so many different things that they say they're involved in. And at the same time, when it comes to the pressures of Western culture, they cave. So they'll still sit there and eat pork hot dogs and pork ribs and, drink drinks they shouldn't drink and damage their bodies and take opioids and things like that, because ultimately their ruling deity is the culture, you see. And a lot of times for those who we consider ourselves to be family with, those foreign gods are our binding points. So I think about this as I'm getting ready to do this, the work with the family, but also, I think about our new Life Global Ministries, our new womb and our new man, and the fact that we're moving as family. We are treating one another sincerely and authentically as family, and I always reiterate that, a lot of times when I'm doing work for people and, maybe they're surprised at the lengths that I go through. And I say, well, if I called you brother so-and-so or sister so-and-so, you should expect me to stay to my word. You should at the very least expect that, right? So again, in reference to this idea of family, this reference to idea of connectedness, a lot of times when we find ourselves most in the throes of how do we deal with these people, our mother, our father, our uncle, our cousins, those who may not be as connected or understanding or even as tolerant to our growth path, you'll find that the only time you really have to deal with them is when you are torn between what binds you. When you say, for instance, just for example, I'm not going to Christmas celebration with you or Christmas dinner, whatever. I don't do Christmas. So I don't even know what people do. I'm calling it whatever it's called. I know there's a dinner. I'm not going to do Christmas dinner. I'm not going to do Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not bringing a Valentine's Day for so-and-so. But all of these different things that represent, maybe even the way you celebrate birthdays becomes different. All of those things that represent commitment and devotion to these foreign entities, when you make a decision that, I'm going to extract myself from that, maybe even the way that births are celebrated, I'm not going to be a part of that anymore. I'm not going to be a part of the way that we bury our elders anymore. But all of these different things that bind you to the actual culture, you find that 9 times out of 10, when you remove that from your interaction with those who you would call family, there's nothing left. There's nothing to talk about. There's absolutely nothing left. And that gives you a clue of how much you've allowed foreigners to intrude inside of your family culture. If we're not meeting for a funeral or for a wedding that may be done in the style that I don't even honor, or meeting for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever the days are. I don't know all of the days. Easter, yes, another one. Easter, and all of these different things that people celebrate. And I don't celebrate them. I don't know them because I've extracted myself from that type of world so many years ago that I don't even really relate to or connect to it really like that. But and those who I consider my loved ones, they understand that, and they know that we have to find healthier bonding points or binding points. We have to find healthier binding points. So, like I said, as I spy the family there who's all reading, it's a healthy binding point there, because of course books can be discussed afterwards, what they're exploring, and the fact that they're doing something here that no one else that I've spotted. I mean, as far as a family, sure there may be an individual here or there, but where you see a whole family sitting there and just taking in information from a text. So I'm just, encouraging those of you who are having trouble translating these values and translating this lifestyle to your family and not really knowing where to turn next. You have to look at the things that actually do bind you to your family, and that will let you know who your family really is, to be honest with you, and the quality of what binds you. If you're sitting at Thanksgiving dinner watching everyone eat murder food, and you brought your salad or your veggie chunks, if you do the soy or whatever, and of course it's untouched, or the salad is untouched every year and it's just you eating it, you have to look at the quality of what binds you beyond just tradition, because that word tradition gets people in more trouble than you could ever imagine, and it's a cop-out answer. A lot of times when you ask family, well, why do we do it this way? Why do we do this? Why are we invested in that? It's what we've always done. It's tradition, right? But is it righteous? Is it the right thing to do? Is it in alignment with our higher values as people? Is it in alignment with my spiritual civic duty? Or is it just what we've always done? Right? So, look at the quality of the binding points and use that as a determinant when you start feeling, you're getting down on yourself or feeling bad about maybe not spending time with family and things like that. Try to extract everything out of your interaction with them that counteracts or contradicts what you say you're living. Because that's often an issue. A lot of times they'll listen to you, they'll ride with you, and then the moment you fall, it's, see, I knew it was a phase you were just going through. So a lot of times you have to be most vigilant with your presentation when it comes to your natural family, which I'll say natural family, or your biological family. But you may have your natural family, then you may have your cultural family, and they may not be one and the same. But what binds you to either one always has to be examined. Sometimes we're bounded to people who we consider family through our wickedness. You want to do dirt, I want to do dirt. Let's get together and do dirt together, right? And then we develop a camaraderie based upon that, or we're in the military together, or we're incarcerated together, or we work together. And those may not be quality binding points. You want to look at the binding points that speak to what it is that you're aspiring towards and what you're striving to be. You see, so I'm going to just give you all that exercise, my Anu people, and those of you, may need it too, but primarily talking to my Anu people because we're living identical or striving towards identical culture, which is what binds us together, right? Because many of us want to know more about the world. We want to become those deities again that we once were. We want to see the value in many different religions and ways of life. This is all Anu philosophy, Anu calculation. Some of us want to nation build in a real way, But so we have binding points that are quality binding points, and you want to re-examine the quality of the binding points that you have with your natural family, and remove all of those that speak to your lower nature and see what's left. And it may mean that once you remove everything, that you have to create a new one that they can partake in. You might say, I'm not doing Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter and Passover and, I don't know, whatever, Black Friday sales and Cyber Mondays and whatever it is that you guys get together and do. But we can do this. Maybe once a year we can get together and, have a dinner or have a cookout, or whatever it is, whatever is precious. Go back to the family land. You determine that. But always look at the quality of your binding points, man. And, that will make a determination as to how much you are still submitting yourself to foreign deities after you've proclaimed and renounced those foreign deities. All right, this is Chief Yuya out. I will that you all can apply the information and move forward in a healthy way with it. And for those of you who have applied and been applying to Anu Womb and Anu Man, I look forward to seeing you at our retreats and our experiences that are custom designed for us Anubians. All right, peace.